here is Bob Green, 25 guys and gals, and the interview with Louise Harrison Caldwell. Bob, it's all yours.
You took my opening line away from me, Paul. As a matter of fact, I was going to say this is the moment we've been waiting for, but you did it very well. And this is the moment that we have really been waiting for, and I guess everybody else here has too. I would like to say right now a big welcome to Louise Harrison Caldwell. How are you, Louise?
I feel fine.
Let's give her a nice big hello. Yeah! It is wonderful having you here. No kidding. It's just terrific, and I know this is going to be a good conference. We've got some very alert people to ask you some good questions. If you were all set, I'm not going to take up any more time because I think everything that you have to say will be pretty well answered in the questions that we have. So if you're set,
Sure.
And everybody remember to speak up real well. Let's have the first question, and we'll get started on this right now.
I'm a blank crossing time. If Paul was just on vacation, why couldn't he come home for Ringo's wedding?
Well, he was too far. He was in Africa at the time.
Sorry.
And yes, the other boys didn't even know that Ringo was going to get married until the day before. He had just confided in Brian Epstein.
How about that? His wife though knew, right?
Oh, she knew, yeah.
All right. All right. Right back here.
In the sky, Riverside. When the Beatles first came out, well, did you like their singing at first?
The first time I ever heard them was in 1962, that first record, Love Me Do. And the very first time I heard it, I thought, well, it's really different.
All right, we have any others here? Let's get over on this side. All right.
Anita Scotty Cooley, is Paul McCartney really married or engaged to Jane
No,
Asher?
he's definitely not married or engaged.
I think there's a slight approval there. All right, let's see, right back here.
Diane Duvall from Bloomfield Hills Junior High. I was wondering if you know how Ringo feels about being married.
Well, I imagine he must feel pretty happy about it, otherwise he wouldn't have done it.
He's elated. What do you mean? All right, right here.
Kathy Rising Emerson. Do you sing?
Me? Well, I can, but privately. I used to do it at school.
You won't give us a note? No.
Ta-da!
It's Beth Jacob. I'd like to know, could you tell me something about George's childhood?
I prefer not to because I figure that, he's been so delved into since he grew up that he should at least have his childhood to himself.
That's a very good answer.
Karen Schneider, Ferndale High. Did you see George last time he was in America?
Yes, I did about 6 times during their last tour.
Linda Starr, what does your husband think of the Beatles?
Oh, he thinks they're wonderful. Well, he said, that if he was a brother-in-law of some of the other groups, he wouldn't like to admit it.
Okay, and it's David Weisberg again.
Has Ringo ever got his appendix out?
Oh, yes, years ago. I think he was 5 years old.
After he got his appendix out, did he get his drums?
Any correlation there between...
I think he was round about 14 when his mum bought him some drums.
You made us a little gift for getting his appendix out? All right.
Bob Marshall, West Junior High. They say that John is leaving the group. Is this true?
No, this is one of the ridiculous rumors that keeps cropping up all the time, like the marriage rumors and, these kind of things. It's not true at all.
Okay, right over here.
Jackie Wilkerson of Adams. Have they changed much since they've become famous?
Well, of course, I can only speak for George, but George certainly hasn't changed at all. He's a little older, of course, but other than that,
Right back here.
Does George have any favorite singing groups in the United States?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, I'm right in the spot where all of their favorite stars come from, the Tamla Motown label here. This is pretty well, all of the artists on this label are pretty well their favorites. Of course, there are some others as well.
All right, that was Bob Bressler from Berkshire. Right here, Candy.
Do you like doing this tour?
Yes, it gives me an opportunity to meet many of you very fine Beatle fans.
That's very nice. And right here, we got Sharon again.
Do your children, Leslie and Gordon, have accents?
Accents? You mean my kind of an accent or your kind of an accent? No, they're very American. In fact, they think it's rather amusing to have an English mummy.
I think your accent is very delightful, by the way.
Thank you.
It really is. Really is.
Hi. I'd like to know the last time they were in Hollywood, George threw a drink at a photographer when he was with Jane Mansfield. I'd like to know if he does this often.
What, you mean go out with Jane Mansfield?
Drinks.
No, I imagine for him to do something like that, he must have been just bugged out of his mind, because he's very, very easygoing. And, whilst all of us in the Harrison family do have a temper, it takes an awful lot to provoke us.
Betty Acker, Cass Tech. Do you know if any Beatle fans have ever been arrested for breaking into their hotel rooms or anything like that?
Not as far as I know.
But the threat is always there. Just remember that. It's hanging over your head. Wait, let me get around this pole here.
What makes everybody like the Beatles?
I don't know. I think possibly something to do with it is the fact that they are so down to earth and unpretentious. I think that has a lot to do with it, besides, of course, the very good sound that they have.
Mm-hmm. What do you all think? I mean, what do you think about that question? The reasons. What's your reason? Looks.
The personalities.
All those things combined. Okay, right over here.
Louise, do you know the name of John's new book and when it's going to be released?
Oh, yes, it's called A Spaniard in the Works.
Oh, no.
And I don't know when it'll be out, but not too long now, because it's finished.
All right over here, Kathy.
And does George ever draw in his spare time anymore?
Draw? He never did very much.
I've been reading those magazines again, Kathy.
No, this is another thing that was in a magazine. I was kind of astonished when I saw it. He's supposed to be a great artist, and he never really was.
Okay, right here, Paul.
Why is Paul called Paul when his real name is Jim? And does George or Ringo have a middle name?
Well, the second part, George and Ringo both don't have a second name. And that's very bad grammar. But anyway, and Paul is called Paul because his father's name is also Jim, and this was just done to avoid confusion when he was small,
Okay, hi.
Hi. I read in an article that Brian Epstein was a snob. Is this true?
Well, I guess that when anybody is a snob or isn't, it's just a matter of somebody's opinion. Really. I don't know, I think he's very nice.
All right, wait, we have a parent back here. Hello, who are you?
I'm not a parent.
You're not a parent.
No, I'm a sister of Anita, and I'm going to be 21 years old. And I really enjoy the Beatles records, and I think that they're going to be great composers later on in the future, and I think they're going to be the next Lerner and Lowe of music.
Yes, I agree.
They're fantastic. With everyone who has done the Beatles songs,
Yes.
including Arthur Fiedler, the Boston Pops, everybody. It's good music. It really is.
It really is, yeah.
Okay, we have got a parent. How do you do, sir? What's your name?
Jack Wilkerson. Louise, I have a daughter who, or rather two daughters here, that are strictly Beatle fans. In your travels around the country, I wonder what the adults' reaction to the Beatles.
Well, now, those who I have met or have spoken to are very, very much for the boys. And in general, I've had lots of parents drive their kids 300 and 400 miles to come and visit me in my home. And, generally, I find that the parents think that this is, a far better influence on their kids than some things that could come along.
A very good answer. Listen, we are at 3 minutes of 9. We're going to just say goodnight to Louise Harrison Caldwell. I want to thank you so much, Louise. It has really been so wonderful of you to come to Detroit and to talk to the people in Detroit. And let's have a real show of appreciation for Louise. Thank you very much. I think they like you, Louise. Very nice. It's been delightful talking with you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you
for coming to
having me.
WKNR and having our press conference. Right now, back to Paul Cannon on WKNR.
WKNR.